As this is the last of this season of the Atomic World Challenge, it's been both a blessing and pain to once again go through another race that just an amazing season of people that have come together and driven their hardest and fastest with a very cool par system that is trying to keep players fair and competitive. And once again, it has worked very well between a bunch of racers that have been very pro from day one. And yeah, it just coming to another season is rough. It's you want to have it just keep going, especially when it's only about 7 races, and I want to see like 10, 12, something like that. But this is where we're at. So what we're going to do today, it's going to be a little bit different. The track is Chicane. I do want to thank Sneaky for hosting these events and putting them together. It's amazing all the work that he puts into, and all the guys that come out every time to race it. Unfortunately, with the way that Rockstar has set up its 7-lap system right now, it's made it difficult for everybody to have races that want to be competitive over long times, more than like 10-20 minutes. So today this race is actually a 7-7 lap, so it's going to have 7 laps, and then we're going to go back and reline everything up, and then we're going to have another 7. So right in the middle of the video today, we're probably going to have something akin to a station break, and then we're going to come back and finish it up with like I said, an amazing field of drivers. So as we come around here, this is kind of the last little section here before we go into racing. And there's your start finish line up there. They're already starting to put power down to the wheels, and here we go, starting it up. Atomic World Challenge, last race of the season on Chicane. We're starting off today with Voodoo, who is the season 1 champion. Once again, the field is full of Combat SRs. I believe the par time right now is 144. We'll see how that pans out as we go along. And I'm sure that, this is a fast group of people in fast cars, so chances are we're going to see somebody break the par time for sure. And here we have Voodoo. It looks like SAS Montana, who has tried his dominance over and over again, has continued to lead the pack with RPM hot on his tails, looking for his first, I guess, competitive victory. RPM has just been, in every race that we've done, has just been hunting and looking for that one big win, that one big moment that he can, take that surge and come forward. And guys like Voodoo, and then Montana shows up, and that's the thing is we got, especially with this pack and the way the par time's a little bit different for this than it is for car. For car, we have a par time that's definitely slow, and it's made to keep guys very, very tight, like we have here. With this one, it's a 2-second lead, so a lot of times you have the big pack that stays up front and tries to take over each other's position and get the best of each other. And people can get ahead, and there's not really as much there's not much punishment for being a par time, over par. So that doesn't really ring as much true here as it does with the Ficara race, where you anything that you do over a certain amount of time is going to get you double point deductions, and it doesn't pay off to go too fast. So here we have a big pack of guys, SAS Montana, Voodoo, RPM. There he is now, like we were saying. Oh, bumped into the rear. Voodoo stops to let him by. Ricky takes the position and continues to roll around. Ricky, who has been in every race out there that I think I've seen for AWC, except for the first couple of races of the first season, is actually doing really well today in the second position. And we've just been able to maintain a following Voodoo around here as Montana drops again. That's 770. He's usually really good with that. Loves being consistent. And now we're getting a little bit of spread. That accident causes a lot more spread. And there's your big turn going into the final, basically double back. You can see RPM off in the distance there. He's going to for sure try to take that lead and run with it a little bit. So as we come across the line here, let's take a look at the par times here. We're already seeing a 143 from RPM dominating that lead position. Voodoo here with the 144, definitely faster. There's the 144s. 145 from Montana, and Sneaky with a 143. Let's go back to our fearless leader and see how he makes his 143. Oh, he's in a Comet SR, right? Seems to be the rolling thing here, right? Was that a little bit of letting off on the throttle? Is he like letting people win? Is that what his plan is? One thing that we have a problem with, and it's always been a problem, is especially with any kind of leadership thing where you're the guy that's running the group. You go to every event, which means that on point wise, you end up getting a lot more points than the people that are in the race with you. And it can be something that's very difficult for those that run races and say, hey, I don't want to win my own race. And for that reason, Sneaky was very good about his first season. I think he did actually win because he was at every race. And then the second season, he decided to pull back on cars and go with something that's a little bit slower. But regardless, he's setting some pretty nice times today. Let's move over to Juxrey. Juxrey, who is super competitive, I'll say that. Always running these cars. These cars, the Spectre Custom used to be the go-to car of any of the competitions that we had, and now look at the distance that it's had to make up. Somebody spun right there. That would be Geezer hitting the wall. So what we saw is that the Spectre Custom, not so much in Fucara, but in AWC, we see some damage up on that left side there too. The Spectre Custom is still strong in the other series because it's still competitive because the times are slower. And in this series, people were trying to find it's the way it happens. If you do certain speeds and do certain times a certain way, people will find a way to maximize that space to make sure that they have to worry less about their lap times and worry more about their driving ability, which is what you really want to do, is set up a car that's specifically made for par racing. And this was kind of like the first season, is these guys ran these kind of cars, and that's how they remained competitive. And now it's starting to wonder if this is going to be the car that we're going to want to stick with. So as he takes over, as he gets Geezer, yeah, he takes over Geezer, moves up a position. So this is where we stand right now, guys. We'll jump over to FSX Me. I want to get at least a little attention to each of the guys. A little shout out to all the guys that make AWC possible. It's just something about AWC that has been passionate for me from day one, being involved in it from day one, putting together a lot of the the point standings, the way the championship was done, being the person that recorded it. It gave me a lot of ability to stand in and watch something really flourish the way this has, and it's just something near and dear to my heart, and I hope we always have it basically continue. Do you know what I mean? And that's a big deal for us. And Sneaky in the wall. as he turns around and makes another move up. Falling back behind Voodoo. Ricky is doing great today. Watching him fly. It's something I've really wanted to see him do for a while now. And I'm thinking that he's finally found his wings here. What we're really wondering, and I think that it was explained, but I really didn't get the whole gist of it. We're going to see with it because this is a 2-race run. So basically, it's 7 laps and 7 laps. So what's going to happen is that they'll race his first run, and then they'll race the second run, and the points for the beginning of this one, and then you have points for how you finish on your next run, and that will determine who is the victor of all those different races. The Common SR pack are being competitive, but it looks as though our boy RPM dropping a massive 142 is dominating the front. Montana not able to capitalize, but at least able to pull back in that second position after his bout with Voodoo. Let's see how Voodoo's doing. I want to. He just had the best position. He's had the best position the whole race. I think he's fallen back a little bit. Yeah, he's got a little bit more space here. Not been able to capitalize with that car. So we're going to go back to Ricky, who's got a much better view of the fleet up front here. As you can see just off in the distance there, that will be, I'm believing it'll be Montana. Yeah, there's Montana. So we're going to move up to Montana real quick. Can he even see RPM in the distance? Yep, there's RPM. So even though that time is big, and RPM has done a very good job of keeping his speed up, it does become, see what I'm saying? And we're just getting ready to talk about it. It becomes a matter of just keeping consistent. And that's something that I think certain drivers do. And I actually said this to Montana when he started, was that if he said he wanted to be a consistent racer, and I said the consistent racers are the ones who win. And the reason is because races like these, even though they're not basically long races, the ideal of being endurance oriented plays a big role. Okay, so welcome back to the next round of the AWC. So again, so you know what happened. There's a limit to 7 laps that we can have in each race, and we're basically, to do the 14 laps required to do the race, they're going to do 2 of them. So this is the beginning of the second leg of that race, and as you can see, everybody is a little bit tight. So we're looking at the lap times from the last race, and I'm thinking Sneaky is the guy to follow right now, especially since he's nice in the middle of the pack, and he did some very good times. Even though I think Voodoo was doing a 140, 141 before the race ended. So things were getting really fast and really tight and really competitive. So we're gonna Sneaky's taking over the airwaves and coming back with all of a sudden, that was crazy. So let's see who we got up here. Let's go jump up to SAS Montana. I just have a feeling that he's a lot closer to the front than we expect. Look, those guys up there, yeah. A little bit of incident contact there. Trying to pay attention to all the different things going on. I think that S-Shed ended up getting into Voodoo. And I'm sorry, not Voodoo, but F-Shed got into Juxtree. These guys are fighting it out up here. RPM taking the front again. Voodoo, who had the massive drive line and for the last one, he's not going to let up on this one. The electric car of RPM, who is trying to run at full speed here. As claims of curb boosting, but I'm not seeing anything from here, and these guys are just competitive. Oh! Trying to push him, and that was a bad move right there for the camera. I just couldn't see him. And that was the thing is it was a competitive line. Voodoo's definitely, I think, the faster car here, as we don't hear anything from RPM's car. And I'm going to move back to that 4th place position with Sneaky, who is doing his best to drive under SAS Montana. And I don't know. It's going to be close. I'm seeing it looks like FSX me. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody else. There's Geezer. I mean, is this the 4th position? I was getting ready to say this. He dropped some positions there. RPM taking 1st position from Montana. I'm having a tough time figuring who I'm going to be on right now. Sneaky's taking it, but we gotta go up. So yeah, man, look at how far he fell back. 4th to Ricky Bobby. We're gonna move up to Ricky because he's still in the game of competitiveness here. Sneaky fell the line off, but Ricky's still a little bit off. No, let's move up to Voodoo, who is now in 3rd position. He's not able to capitalize on any of this movement he's got. He's got a strong car. Montana's just maintaining composure. Before, we were seeing him really move in on RPM. And now that he's out in some clear air, maybe he's going to be able to do something with that. RPM isn't going to take it down lying lightly, I don't think, which will be good. So these guys are literally in a turn-oriented drag race right now to see who can move up to the front fastest. And, man, Voodoo is making time with that Comet. It's just, you just get into these corners and he's just moving it. See, things like that's not going to help him, but there's little mistakes, little turns, little things that happen that just turns him sideways. He's going to need to make up some significant space with that. We're going to check these. So 43, 42, 45, 43. And I'm getting a no 40. Yep, there's the 42. I knew that was going to have 41 from Montana. Man, how is he staying in 2nd place with the speed that he's got? And then he's taking those corners so well. There's just no way that car can keep up with him. Our RPM has to just basically, there's going to come a point when he's just going to have to fold because he's just going to be faster. But then he gets into these areas in that electric car, even though it doesn't have the top speed, there's a part here that he's not carrying the energy through. It's kind of tough to figure out, but it's still a second faster. Is he just not getting in on him, or I don't know. There it is. Look at that move he's just made. That's power right there coming through that. That's where he's making up the time at. Comes in on the outside, bumps RPM a little bit. Tries to optimize that turn. We're going to get back into the place where RPM can move because he's got all that 0 to 60 top end electric speed there. And he'll slowly pull away. So that's really, I think, where our problem is he's competing against him in an area that is not powerful for the 770. When he finally gets all that momentum going into the last area, he can't capitalize on it because the electric car is faster. So he's got to slow down to get with him and then speed up again. To be able to pass him, and there's no way to pass him unless he's going to drive through him because it's a very tight section in there. but he still seems to be, in every second is an inch or more into him. But like you said, there's this section here where he's going to slow down. That 7.7, he's not going to be able to capitalize, at least until he gets to in here, where the top speed's going to kick in. So watch, he'll start to pull ahead about RPMs, because at 0-60, now the 770, if he could get that speed going through here, he's going to catch on him fast right in here, because he's maintaining a lot of speed. But then he gets into this section and he's not going to be able to pass him because it's just too tight. Yeah, he carried. Did good with that turn. So now we see RPM has kind of gotten his bearings on this race here. Has been able to maintain that first position. I want to drop back and look at, let's see me. And then I know Sneaky's over there racing, and I want to check him out too. Yeah, this is a pack back here. Sneaky's having some problems getting ahead of Ricky. Ricky is not going to make it easy for him. So from that point right there, we should have 2 laps to go. Oh, get out of the grass. Looked like Sneaky had him there, but Sneaky's braking late right into that turn. See, he kind of, like, he lets his nose get in, and he's not able to make it happen. Now that he's gotten the straight going, this is gonna be the moment. But nope, that Comet SR is a fast car. Powering through that turn. Now you gotta see, that's the skid right there. That's what's been the problem with maintaining speed through it. Oh yeah, see how his nose is out right there. He could push down through there, smooth that out a little bit, and Ricky would be his to crush. So there's, you can see the leaders off in the distance there as they come around through the finish line. And so we're actually going to hang with these guys. I'm thinking that, so here we go, the 141 from Montana. Come on, Montana. You got to, even though I'm kind of rooting for RPM because he's been having some trouble winning a victory here. And I think because there's actually a cash card on the line that he's actually really putting the real competitiveness in. Oh, it's over for Sneaky. It's time to get some gaffer tape and fix that front bumper, because nothing's going to hold this race together for him. And I think that's the distance between him making up for it. He's not going to be able to get, I don't think he's going to be able to take the 2 laps it's going to take to get it, unless, of course, Ricky makes a mistake, and then we'll be able to see it from there. And here we go, but right in that same section that I was talking about. So this is it. This is last, I think they were coming around, well, this coming through the end here will be, I think, the last lap. And Montana, once again, is looking at a victory in AWSC. All he has is one unrelenting RPM to take it over. And there it is. RPM finishes in first It takes the position away. The winner of this, the competition for this is going to be the winner of the series, that is going to be walking away with a $500,000 cash card for their pleasure. And congratulations to whoever gets it. So I just checked real quick. It looks like RPM with points wise is going to be taking the championship, the race, and the entirety of everything. Thanks again for tuning into AWC. It's been a great season, and we'll see you in the next one. Have fun, guys. Bye.